Okay, everybody, welcome to this live listening class for the IELTS exam. As you know, the listening section applies in equal measure to the academic and the general test. In fact, many of you might not know this, but if you look at academic 12 and you look at general 12, the listening part is exactly the same. If you look at book 13 and look at the academic 13 and the general 13, the listening section is exactly the same. So I know that I have said that very often to people, and some people may not believe me, but all you have to do is look at both books. And if you look at both books, you'll see that the listening parts are exactly the same. Now, in this live class, what I'm going to be doing, and this first one that I'm doing is actually, to those of you who don't want to follow, this first one that I'm doing is from book number 12, and it's section 2 in test 8. I'm working from book number 12, and this is section 2, test 8. All right, so if you have this with you, it's much, much better if you have it with you, and that's why I told you guys to make sure you try to get these books. You should again open up book number 12, and I'm looking at test 8, and we're looking at section number 2. What I'm going to be doing here, everybody, is I'm not going in this live listening class. What I'm doing is I'm trying to go over some specific question types that students have told me in messages and in comments that they have trouble with in terms of the listening section. So I'm going to be looking at the map questions, because there are students that have trouble with how to handle and process doing a map. And also I'm going to be looking at some of the multiple choice type of questions and looking at also a section 4. And the purpose of this class is we're just working on the application of strategy. All right, the application of strategy. I'm going to be showing you how to recognize the correct answers and how to recognize when something is an incorrect answer. All right, and also how to recognize synonym language. Because when it comes to the listening section, whether you're talking about fill the blank or multiple choice, right? Fill the blank or multiple choice, it's all about synonym language. When it comes to doing a map question, it's not really about synonym language, but it's about your ability to follow map language or directional language. Okay? And so we're going to be looking at that. And the way the process is going to work is I'm going to play the audio section, play the audio for a specific section, let it play through, and then I'm going to stop it, go over the answers and the analysis of each question. All right. So everybody, you should take out your IELTS book number 12, whether it's academic or general, and turn to test number 8, section 2. Okay, book 12, test 8, section 2. All right, now, before I get started, does anybody have any questions? All right, if you have a question, type it in the box, and I'll try to answer your question. Okay.
I don't know if it's not
Turn off your microphone. Turn off your microphone. If you have a question, type it in the box. If you don't have the book, it's fine. I mean, it's much easier. It's much easier if you have the book. Okay, Ola, I don't think that might have to be another class. Ola asked me the question. Ola asked me the question if she has trouble going over with numbers and names. If about numbers and names. And Ola, I'm not going to be going over any number and name questions today, but I will try to keep that in mind for the future and try to get some of those questions in the future. Okay. If you don't have the book, you can try to follow along with me, but it's much better if you do have these books, because then you can work on it your own. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started now. Tarek, I don't know how long. I have the time. I have the time set for 2.5. It can go as long as 2.5 hours. It won't be longer than 2.5 hours. Um, like I said, you can stay as long as you can stay. The class is being recorded, so if you got to go somewhere, then go. You can come back and watch the rest of it later on. Okay. Osman, Osman asked me the question. Am I going to show the question? You should be able to see the questions right now. Um, like I said, it's better to use your book. But the thing is, when the questions are on my screen, I can't get every question on my screen. So it's a matter of scrolling down or scrolling up. So I'm going to be controlling that for myself. Okay, that's why I told you it's better for you to have your own so that you can be in control of looking at the questions and things. So you'll be able to see it, but like I said, you can't see everything on the screen at the same time, probably. Okay. All right, I'm going with the first one, and then we're going to go over it. I'm trying to play it. Robbie, what's going to
Section 2.
Robbie, what's going to happen is the recorded section will be uploaded into the course. Okay? The recorded section will be uploaded into the course. Okay, everybody. Here is the first part, and you should be able to see these questions on your screen.
Section 2. You will hear a podcast about an area called the sheep market in a New Zealand city. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 14.
Okay, now when I'm looking at these multiple choice questions, before it plays, I want to go over something with you. When I'm looking at these multiple choice questions, all right, what I'm doing is I'm actually highlighting the key information in the questions that I need to listen for. So I'm listening for number 11, I'm listening for what's the most rapidly growing group, right? For number 12, I'm looking for a recommendation about the side streets for something. That's what I'm listening for. Because the key thing when you're doing multiple choice questions, and the reason why some people struggle with the multiple choice question is because they aren't able to recognize when the answer is being said. And the key thing for knowing when the answer is being said is your ability. The key thing for when the answer is being said is your ability to be able to recognize the keyword language